Hey everyone, it's Jackie from Vegan Yak Attack, and I'm back with a brand new recipe for you today. And today's recipe is a beautiful summer salad of watermelon and blackberry and feta, but it's so easy. And we're talking vegan feta here, right? Super easy. Definitely compared to the grilled sourdough flatbread that I posted. So if you didn't check that video out, I do recommend it because it is so good. In this case, we're just dicing up some watermelon, tossing it with a little bit of seasoning, not much, because we're gonna keep this, like I'm saying, really simple. Some basil, we got blackberries, and then I have some vegan feta here. This one I bought from the store, I kind of cheated. There's a couple options for that depending on where you're at. I also have a recipe for tofu feta on my site that is really good, so I'll link that in the description. And if you have more access to tofu than you do vegan feta, I definitely recommend trying that out. For this recipe, maybe lay off the herbs just a tad so that like the oregano flavor and things are not super strong, but I'll make a note of that as well in the description, like I said. Other than these fresh ingredients, all I'm using are, some lime juice, some zest. I have a little agave, a little white wine vinegar, and then some salt. So there's really not much to this recipe. To get started, we are going to chop up some watermelon. I'm not gonna use the whole watermelon for this, probably half. So what you're looking to get is maybe a 4-pound watermelon, or just, this is, kind of on the smaller side, but I guess a medium, depending on like if you're getting sugar baby or not. Ooh, this one's pretty. Sometimes, with store-bought, it can be a bit of a crapshoot. So what I'm gonna do is actually cut off the top here. Yeah, that looks good. And then these, my friend Michael from Monson made this incredible vegan sushi stack that used pickled watermelon rinds. So maybe I'll give that a try. But I'm gonna save some of these for that, and maybe also compost some, since I have a composter. But if you don't, look into that low waste recipe. He has a bunch of watermelon recipes on his YouTube right now, so I'll go ahead and link that as well in the description. So as you can see, I'm just kind of carving away, getting some of that. And then this way, when we chop our little cubes, we don't have to cut the rind off of each part. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to slice this in half, move these out of the way. Don't want to knock them onto the ground. Okay. Now that we have our flat side, I want to keep these in like 1-inch cubes. And I was actually thinking about this as I was kind of developing this recipe, that this would be an amazing bruschetta topping, or I don't have any crostini right now, or like a baguette, so I can't really do it. If you want to try that out with this recipe, I would say just dice everything a little bit finer so it's easier to put on a crostini. In this case, we're just enjoying it as a side salad. Oh. Okay. So even that right there is like roughly a cup of watermelon. So basically we're looking to have like 4 to 6 cups of watermelon, depending on how you would like cram that in there. But I'm going to go ahead and list the weight of this in the recipe, so it's a little bit easier for you to shop and chop. That's good. Oh no, I dropped a piece. We're gonna set off and eat it. Okay, let's start on this side. And yes, I know that seeded watermelons are typically preferred. A lot of people say that they're sweeter. I just didn't have any at my local store, honestly. This one's not too bad though. I will say a little salt will go a long way with this. I don't know if you've ever eaten salt or like lime juice with watermelon, but it helps enhance the sweetness quite a bit, if it's not like the most sweet watermelon you've ever had. Okay, I think that may have been literally the hardest part of this. So now we have our watermelon. I have 6 ounces of blackberries, which is basically like your typical small container of blackberries. I like these because they go really well with like lime juice too, and savory in this vegan feta. You could use blueberries as well. It won't be the same, but it'll still be delicious. And before I add the vegan feta in, what I'm going to do is put together our little like dressing. It's really not much. So I want to have some lime zest and lime juice, which means we're zesting this first. I want about like a half teaspoon of lime zest. And like I said, this just kind of like enhances the natural flavor of the watermelon. We're not trying to like overdress this fruit salad. Okay, and now we can cut this to juice it. I want a couple teaspoons, or just to taste really. Like this recipe is more of a guideline than anything else. Okay, yeah, that's about 2 teaspoons. And then here we have our white wine vinegar. I like this because it's not super tart. It doesn't have like a wildly strong flavor, but it's really good for vinaigrettes and things like that. So it's not as like pungent as apple cider vinegar, though you could use just a teeny bit less of like that kind of vinegar, or even balsamic might be nice in here, but I wanted to go a little bit lighter than balsamic. So I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of that in there. And then we have a little agave to balance out that tartness from the vinegar and from the lime juice, really. Might need to use the rest of that, we'll see. And then here, I'm gonna put a little pinch of salt in there. If you are looking to make this ahead of time, I would say leave the dressing out of it until it's ready to serve, because the salt is going to start like leaching the water out of the watermelon like you do with like zucchini noodles, etc. Once you have salt on it, it's gonna get really watery, and we don't want this to be a weird soup situation. Now I'm going to cut some fresh basil. My air conditioner clearly dried this out in the 5 minutes I had it out. And this is just to like bring a little herbaceousness. Mint would work really well too here. Mint and basil I feel like go really well with sweet and savory at the same time even. So I'm just going to kind of like a chiffonade style cut, even though I didn't roll it up first. But just strips I feel like will work well here. You could do like a finer mince if you don't want to get a chunk of basil all up in your shit. Pardon my French. I'm just gonna stir that together so I can give it a little taste. Get it off of me. Ooh, it smells so good. Okay, it's a little, ooh, oh, that's nice. I think I am gonna use just this last, there's like a half teaspoon of agave in here. So I'm gonna use that with my finger, very technical and professional here, as always. Stir this up. Ooh. And then let me clean this off so we can just toss everything together in a second. Okay, now that we have our very easy blackberries and watermelon mixture here, I'm going to drizzle this little dressing all over, and then just give it a gentle toss before we add in the feta, because I don't want the feta to crumble too much in there, get too messy. Okay, got my little tongs, so cute. And you can add a little olive oil to this if you want it to be like more of a actual salad, I guess, or more of like a real salad dressing as opposed to a fruit enhancer, I guess, in this case. Ooh, already I can see a little bit of the water from the watermelon is seeping out. So now, oh my gosh, I'm drooling. I love vegan feta so much. So we'll add some of that. Ooh, so pretty. This white in there. And then just give it like a gentle toss, honestly. Okay, and you know what actually is another great option if you don't even want to do like a fake cheese thing is toasted pine nuts, just lightly toasted. It still has that kind of savoriness and then the fattiness that like cheese has. I actually have a salad that is watermelon, tomato, and then it has those pine nuts in it, and it's so good. So I'll link that in the description as well, just in case you want to try that version instead of this more fruity one. And now, can you believe it? We're already almost done. I'm going to put some of this in here just to make it a little prettier. And you can always top it with some fresh basil as well. Just a little, you know, garnish. Yeah, let's do this. This one over here. Okay. Oh, there's some extra feta in here. Oh, Jackie, just eat it already. Jesus. Story of my boyfriend's life. But it's gotta look pretty, right? Right. Okay, I think that looks all right. Wipe that edge off. Now, make sure we get a good bite. It has a little bit of everything in it. Good old cheese, a little blackberry. And these honestly are massive. I probably should have cut these in half just to get them a little bit more distributed through the salad, but that's up to you. That's all personal preference stuff. And we have a little like basil and everything on this watermelon piece. Mmm. Mmm. That's good. Mmm. And the lime is not like overpowering. I feel like it complements it so nicely. And this would definitely be better chilled. Like my watermelon was just out on the countertop. This is not completely cold, but this chilled, which you should serve it chilled for real, would be so refreshing during the summer. Get a little bit of that again. Excuse me. Oh yeah. Are you kidding? There we go. That's good. It's a little bougie, but clearly so easy to make. And like I said, excuse me, this would be really great like on a crostini. So in that case, if I were to serve this with that, I would have like a little balsamic reduction just to like really take it up a notch on the crostini and kind of like meld it all together and make it a little bit more cohesive. But otherwise, there's your next delicious summer salad. Like I said, top it with a little basil, make it a little prettier than this pink mess that I have here. If you enjoyed this recipe and this video, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. I'll post the whole recipe and process on my blog post in the link below, and I'll see y'all next time.